going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about the best small towns to live in Canada. I'm very excited for this topic because, like a lot of Americans, I can name some popular or big Canadian cities, but I don't know anything about small town Canada. I don't know anything about that. But honestly, I really like small towns. Here in America, I really enjoy small towns. They have less crime, they feel safer. There's more of a smaller community kind of feeling to small towns. People actually might know each other. People might actually talk and do stuff with each other. It's more of a community for sure when it's a little smaller, and I really like that kind of thing. It's a great place you kind of want to maybe settle down or have a family or something. It's great. And so I want to learn about what are small towns like in Canada? What are some of the best small towns in Canada that I'm sure I have never, ever heard of in my life before? So this should be really interesting. Let's take a look.
At 10, Churchill, Manitoba.
Churchill, Manitoba. Funny enough, I have heard of this one. Oh, from a video so long ago that I did about polar bears like this. Wait, Churchill is famous for, like, polar bear tours? What? Is this a good small town to... Is this a good small town to live in and have children? Or there's polar bears, is that... Wait a minute.
Fun fact, there are about as many polar bears in the western Hudson Bay area around Churchill as there are permanent residents of Churchill, around 1,000.
Wow, 1,000. And Churchill's pretty north, right? It's kind of cold. Only 1,000 people. My God. That is a small town. 1,000 people. This is interesting. I wonder what they're gonna say is like, what is the redeeming quality to such a sort of small town with polar bears and cold, you know?
Polar bears are the primary attraction of this very northerly small town.
Okay.
Tourists flock to Churchill in the late fall to catch a glimpse of the majestic white bears, often planning side adventures for viewing the northern lights or taking the dog sled tour.
Oh, you can have dog sled tours, northern lights. One thing that sounds kind of annoying, like, it sounds like this town could be a big tourist attraction, which could get annoying, right? All those pesky Americans coming to bug your polar bears and stuff. I don't know.
There are two ways to get to Churchill. You can fly in, 2 hours from Winnipeg, or you can catch the train in 2 days from Winnipeg.
Okay.
Driving is not an option, as there are no roads into town, so plenty of days from Winnipeg. Yep, it's...
Wait, what? This is supposed to be a list of the best small towns to live. And the narrator is saying it's difficult to even get to this small town in the first place, let alone live there. I don't know if they're really selling this one on me. It seems like a really cool place to visit, to travel to, and enjoy some of the cool stuff there, but living there, I don't know.
Remote, but being truly out there is part of the magic of Churchill.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. It's extremely unique. Like, you'd have a very interesting life if you lived in small town Churchill, Manitoba. So that'd be cool.
At 9, Alma, New Brunswick.
Okay.
Just outside of Fundy National Park is the tiny fishing village of Alma, with a population...
Here we go. This is more of what I was expecting. I've never heard of Alma, New Brunswick in my life. It genuinely looks like a small town. It looks warm. No offense again to Churchill, but this actually looks warm. And it doesn't look like there's polar bears that are going to eat you. And this looks like a nice little community.
Population of just 232. Alma is the
Whoa. Population of 232,000? No, 232. Like, if you went and lived here, you would increase the population by, like, almost a percentage point. Like, less than 0.5%, but still. Okay, talk about a community kind of feel.
gateway to the world-famous high tides of the Bay of Fundy.
Oh.
It's also a great spot to grab a bite to eat after a hike in the park.
Oh.
Try the sticky buns.
Okay.
Everyone in town raves about them, and for good reason.
All 232 people rave about these sticky buns.
The nearby Cape Anrage Nature Preserve is a special natural attraction with towering cliffs, rocky beaches, and an iconic lighthouse.
Whoa, Alma, New Brunswick. I kind of underestimated this at first. I was kind of making jokes, but this place is close to a lot of really, really amazing stuff.
It's the kind of place where you could easily spend hours exploring.
Yeah.
You can even tack on a ziplining adventure to
What?
amp up the adrenaline. Alma is a great place to stay while exploring Fundy National Park if you
Okay.
prefer not to rough it. Even if you're
Wow, this seems a little touristy. Like, I don't know why they keep showing small towns that seems sort of like tourist attractions. I don't know if I'm into that as a place you'd want to live for the rest of your life. But aside from like all the cool stuff that might attract some tourists, it's whatever. It seems like a really nice small community, even still.
camping, make a point of checking out this small town on your way in or out of the park.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, that's a beautiful shot right there. That's like the entire town, huh? Right there in this shot. Wow. Wow.
Next up at 8, Golden, British Columbia.
Golden, British Columbia. I've never heard of it. Golden. It's a cool name. British Columbia? It's known for being like cool outdoors, cool geographical features, right?
The interior of BC has more than a few small, laid-back mountain towns that are
Wow.
all worthy of a place on this list, but Golden wins our gold medal.
Okay.
In terms of geography, Golden has got it all. Two
Really?
major rivers, Columbia and Kicking Horse, 3 epic mountain ranges, and 5 major national parks in the vicinity.
Oh my god. This is a dream if you like the outdoors. Golden, British Columbia. It's gold. Yeah, it's golden for you if you like the outdoors. What? But seriously, they said 5 national parks nearby, 2 rivers, other stuff? That's pretty amazing.
For many of its 3,708 residents, life in Golden
Oh, how many? 3,000?
vicinity. For many of its 3,708 residents,
Okay.
life in Golden involves making the most of the surrounding mountains.
Oh, look, there's... And I accidentally paused it on the mountain goat. Might see a mountain goat while going to the grocery store in Golden. Yeah, 3,700 population, that's what I think of. Even that is really small town. Like, a small town. I would almost have thought like a small town would have 10,000 or 20,000 people. We're getting down into 3,000. I mean, the other one had 200 people. That's almost like you almost know your neighbors too well at that point. If there's 200 of you, like, I don't know.
Hiking them in the summer, skiing or snowboarding at Kicking Horse Mountain Resort, and enjoying the stunning vistas 365 days a year.
Whoa.
Gastronomes will be pleasantly surprised to learn that Golden has more than a few top-notch restaurants. After you've
Golden is awesome. I just have to say, like, they're already going on to the food, and they taught all those natural wonders that they just showed. Golden is awesome.
worked up an appetite adventuring, head to town for a delicious meal.
Wow, in the mountains? Unbelievable. What a place to live. If you're watching this and you live in Golden, British Columbia, good for you. Get outside and go ride a mountain bike on one of these hills already.
At 7, Saint-Sauveur, Quebec.
Saint-Sauveur. I don't know much about Quebec. I know Quebec City, Montreal, right? And yeah, exactly. I know the most obvious stuff you can possibly think of. Saint-Sauveur? Never heard of it.
Situated in the heart of the Laurentian Mountains, Saint-Sauveur, population 9,881,
Okay.
might just be one of the most adorable villages in all of Quebec.
This is what I more thought of as a small town. Now I realize there are varying degrees of small town. Small town Canada. There's the hundreds, then you have like 3,000. This is what I thought of, 10,000, at least. With like, where it feels like there is a lot of people, but there's not compared to like a big city.
Though it's less than an hour from Montreal,
Wow.
Saint-Sevier feels every bit like the secluded mountain town,
Wow.
especially after a fresh snowfall. Nobody can get in or out. There are 6...
I like this a lot. Just visually, I like this a lot. Wow, and there's so many trees. And skiing.
ski resorts in the area. We'll do the math for you. You could stay for a week and ski somewhere new almost every day.
What?
When the snow melts, there's plenty of exploring to do by bike or on foot. There are 8 golf courses in the area, so you might want to pack your golf bag too.
Wow, well, I guess I didn't even mention this aspect. Pretty important. I was going to say Saint-Sevier seems awesome. Maybe my favorite so far. You probably have to speak French to exist in any kind of productive manner in this town, huh? That might be a little challenge for me.
Saint-Sevier's outlet mall draws shoppers looking for a bargain, but the strollable downtown is an even better bet for cute boutiques, bakeries, specialty food shops, and magnificent restaurants.
I like this. This is like the perfect size town, I think, because when it gets too small of a town, you start not having things. Like, it's so small, you're not going to have all the grocery stores or department stores or, restaurants like this that you could find in a slightly bigger town that is still small, if that makes sense.
Ski, shop, and savor. Sounds like the perfect vacation to us.
I think, and again, this is just so beautiful, like just visually. Wow, it's big. Big but small.
At 6, Jasper, Alberta.
Jasper, Alberta. I've heard of Jasper, Alberta. I think because of Jasper National Park, I think. Huh.
Whether you're hiking the Rockies in the summer or skiing them in the winter, Jasper is an adventurer's dream destination.
Wow.
The list of Jasper's top activities reads like an avid explorer's bucket list.
Oh my god. They're picking a lot of small towns that you have to be a bit of an outdoor enthusiast to really enjoy, but I don't mind that at all.
Trekking to alpine lakes, going on a wildlife tour, chasing waterfalls, exploring ice canyons, dog sledding, ice skating on a frozen lake. The list goes on and on and on. About 4,590 people have managed to make Jasper a permanent lifestyle.
4,900, I think he said. That's not as big as I thought. This is for how popular I thought maybe Jasper National Park is, and that this is by mountains. I would have thought this was going to be bigger. 5,000, that's kind of in that sweet spot.
And we bet just about every tourist who visits wishes they could call it home too.
Yeah.
Quieter than Banff, but just as spectacular, this is a must-see destination for anyone planning a tour of the Canadian Rocky Mountains.
Man, the fact that there are places, like in Canada, where you can just be living, like go into town and see a giant mountain range. That's incredible. Americans really don't appreciate the nature, the natural wonder of Canada, I swear, including me, except right this moment. I appreciate you, mountain. Wow. Yeah, that's amazing, just driving down the road.
At 5, Victoria by the Sea, Prince Edward Island.
Oh, Victoria by the Sea. Gosh, that sounds so familiar. Prince Edward Island. I feel like that's the town in Prince Edward Island. Maybe I'm wrong. I feel like somewhere along the line I've heard that phrase, Victoria by the Sea? I don't know. Prince Edward Island. Okay.
Victoria by the Sea is officially the smallest town on this list of exceptional small towns, with a population of just, 74.
Oh, okay. Maybe along the line learning about Prince Edward Island, I learned about this town because it's like the smallest town ever. 74 people. I'm gonna give the video its fair shot at selling me on this, but I like small towns, don't get me wrong, but 74 people, that's not a town at that point. That's just like it's like your extended family all lives there. Like you will know everyone. If you're doing anything, it's with the same people. So I'm sure it's a lovely community. I'm sure a lovely little Canadian community. But if they're all jerks, then man, you're in for a world of hurt. But I'm sure they're not. But
though
if they
the number inflates in the summer as seasonal residents make their migration. In a province full of lovely seaside towns, Victoria by the Sea is in a league of its own.
Yeah.
The town is small and easily walkable, and every shop you see is worth a visit. You'll want to say
Yeah, every shop is worth a visit, because there's probably only 12, so you have to visit them all. All right, I don't want to knock Victoria by the Sea. It seems like a very cute, very nice little, very small town, the smallest of towns.
Victoria by the Sea for a summer visit, as this already quiet town is extra sleepy in the winter.
Okay.
If you're planning a trip to PEI, it's definitely worth spending a day here.
Huh. It is beautiful. I can't argue how it is like it's an island. You got the whole world, the ocean in front of you. It is like mesmerizing in that sense. But is that a trade-off enough to go live in the middle of nowhere with 70 other people who are probably very lovely people? But that's not the point. That's why I say that when it's like a small town of 5,000, 10,000, then it's like it probably has all the amenities and restaurants and stores that someone like an American like myself would really value and honestly need. But it's going to have like enough people to where you're going to meet new people still all the time and not run into Jerry from down the road every day. Unless maybe Jerry's awesome, I don't know.
At 4, Dawson City, Yukon.
Yukon, wow. I wasn't even expecting a small town from Yukon. This'll be interesting. Dawson City, okay.
Though its population today stands at 1,375, the historical town of Dawson City hasn't always been so small. At the peak of Klondike Gold Rush in the late 19th century, more than 16,000 people lived in Dawson City, hoping to share in the fortunes.
Right.
Most of these people...
Oh, this is cool. It looks like the Wild West. Is that a coincidence? Looks like an old Wild West town. Where's the sheriff? So this got 1,000 people. It's in the Yukon. So immediately, again, this is supposed to be a list of best small towns in Canada to live. And this is the American in me coming out here. It seems like might be a little cold. I'm sorry. It seems like it'd be cold. It's the Yukon.
People eventually left and settled elsewhere, but small as it is, Dawson City remains the second largest community in the Yukon.
Okay.
The spirit of the gold rush is still very much alive in Dawson City.
It's beautiful. Like, what can you say? You can't argue that it's majestic.
A walkable town that has embraced its rich history through museums, tours and fun, if somewhat kitschy, activities like panning for gold or posing for old-timey costumed photos.
They make this sound really touristy, I have to say. Like a great place to visit, kind of tough to live. So I'm judging these a bit based on the title here, small towns, best places to live, small towns.
A visit to Dawson City is like taking a trip back in time in the very best of ways.
Oh, that's cool. It's definitely worth visiting.
At 3, Ucluelet, British Columbia.
Ucluelet, British Columbia. I liked the other one, Golden, I think it was. Golden, British Columbia, I really liked. Ucluelet, I've never heard of this either.
Just south of the world-famous surf mecca of Tofino lies a small town with a lot to offer, Ucluelet. Situated on the rugged west coast of Vancouver Island, Ucluelet offers many of the same attractions as Tofino. Surf.
Nice. Okay, so this actually is by the coast. So there's... I remembered when I learned surfing is a thing in Canada. Blew my mind. Yeah, this seems awesome. A small town by the coast. Seems south enough to be a little warmer. I'm sold so far. Ucluelet.
Surfing, beaches, beautiful resorts and lodges.
Oh my god. This is amazing.
Fishing, hiking, whale watching, with fewer crowds. There are galleries to peruse, spas for an indulgent treat, and restaurants that are true hidden gems.
Spas. We got some spas.
To peruse, spas.
They could put those little things, those pads on my eyeballs. In Ucluelet. I'm sold.
For an indulgent treat, and restaurants that are true hidden gems.
Yeah.
The estimated 1,717 people who call Ucluelet home.
Wow, 1,700. That's pretty small. It's not 200 people small. Maybe 1700 is doable.
Oh, how awesome it is to be there, and tourists are just starting to discover the same.
Yeah.
If you're planning a visit to Pacific Rim National Park Reserve, make sure to set aside some time to explore Uki.
That's important as well. Some of these towns are not only great small towns, but you have to factor in they are close to stuff. They are close to other cool stuff, which is important when selecting where you're going to live the rest of your life. Okay, number 2 on the list.
At 2, Mahone Bay, Nova Scotia.
Oh, Nova Scotia, nice. I like that. I like that this list is jumping around all of Canada. My God, all of Canada. Nova Scotia, I don't know much of anything about Nova Scotia. Mahone Bay, never heard of it. Looks nice. There appears to be a bay.
Close your eyes and try to imagine the perfect maritime town. Chances are what you're picturing is pretty close to what Mahone Bay looks like.
Nice.
Think charming churches,
Nice.
delightful shops, and houses painted the colours of Easter eggs.
This looks very, very charming. Like ye old world charming. Just living off in Mahone Bay and Nova Scotia. What a life. I'm captivated.
Located in Nova Scotia's Lunenburg County, Mahone Bay's population is estimated at 1,036.
Okay.
But this number keeps on growing.
It looks pretty big for only 1,000 population. It actually looks fairly big.
Mahone Bay has the distinction of being the fastest growing municipality in the province.
Oh, okay.
Historically, Mahone Bay was a shipbuilding town. You'll see many nods to its heritage as you wander around.
It's beautiful. The shipbuilding, the maritime aspect, the water, and the way that the town is like built around the water in this with all this wooden structures and old-timey feel is really quite soothing. Quite charming, I have to say.
Water continues to play an important role in town. Stand-up paddleboarding and boating are just 2 ways to explore the bay.
Cool, cool.
In town, small shops feature goods made by local artisans.
Yeah.
You'll have no trouble finding a unique souvenir, and there are some great options for enjoying a cup of coffee, a fresh fish dinner, or homemade ice cream.
I like it. I like it a lot. I don't know if it's at the top of my list so far. So far, I've really liked the 2 towns in British Columbia. But we still have number 1 on the list to come. Which I'm very curious about number 1.
And finally at number 1, Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario.
Oh!
With a lively food
Okay. Niagara-on-the-Lake. At some point I did a Niagara Falls video reaction. So I know about Niagara-on-the-Lake. Isn't that a really big tourist destination? That's like right by Niagara Falls. Or is it a little separate, or this is a town? I almost thought it was a city. Okay, I need some clarification here.
scene, quaint bed and breakfasts, and spectacular golf courses. Niagara-on-the-Lake is a small town, population 17,511, with lots to keep you busy.
Oh, maybe this isn't what I thought. What did he say, 4,000?
Small town, population 17,511.
No, 17,000. Now that's getting up into what I picture a lot of American small towns, to have like 10,000, 17,000, like this. So this is kind of the size that I was thinking of.
With lots to keep you busy.
Wow.
Nestled on the southern shores of Lake Ontario, not far from Niagara Falls, this scenic town is a popular tourist destination in the summer months.
Yeah, it's a popular tourist destination. It's not right on Niagara Falls. It seems like it's near Niagara Falls, which is better. Seems like it'd get a lot of tourism, but it's big enough to where maybe that doesn't matter so much. If you're going to Prince Edward Island, they're going to notice you. If you increase their population from 72 to 73, they're going to notice you. Here, you're not going to notice tourists as much, I would think.
The long days, warm weather, scenic countryside, and lively downtown make for the perfect getaway.
Maybe this is perfect. 'Cause it's like a small town with all the benefits of a larger town, in a way. And all the benefits of like having a lot of stuff for tourists that you can enjoy if you live there. I'm coming around to this. Okay.
There are plenty of ways to fill your day, from window shopping in the Heritage District to hopping on a cycling tour to enjoying a traditional afternoon tea.
Nice.
if you're a fan of the...
Nice. There's a lot of cool stuff. Because the aspect of it being by Niagara Falls doesn't matter so much. When you live there, you're not going to go to Niagara Falls every day, I imagine. So the fact that it's by Niagara Falls stops mattering so much. And it's just like, does the town on its own merit? Like, is it a good place to live? It's close to the border if you want to go into the United States and do stuff. Maybe that's a perk? I don't know.
the theatre, then you won't want to miss Niagara-on-the-Lake's Shore Festival. Niagara-on-the-Lake is also a popular day trip from Toronto, less than 2 hours away.
And it's by Toronto. That's a positive. That is a really big positive. You're by the... Well, being by the United States is either a positive or a negative, depending on your personal predisposition. Being by Toronto is cool. That's really cool. Seems like a beautiful town, I gotta say. Everyone out and about, bicycling. It's nice.
And there you have the top 10 rated small towns in Canada.
Wow.
Did you like what you saw?
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments down below.
I did like what I saw. Seriously. That was a really good video. That was by Trip Extreme. And I gotta give that a like. That's really enjoyable. I think, for the most part, I enjoyed almost all those towns. This video kind of started a little slow, I think. Throwing Churchill, Manitoba, no offense to Churchill, but it looks cold, and there's polar bears. Threw that one at us. Then, Alma? Came back strong with Golden, British Columbia. Saint Sever, Quebec, I remember was really nice, but I don't speak French. Jasper, Alberta was really cool. Victoria by the Sea, Prince Edward Island was really quaint, really beautiful, just too small to actually go live there. Dawson City, Yukon, probably too cold. Uselet was really nice, and there was surfing. Mahone Bay, Nova Scotia was really, really nice. And this last one surprised me, Niagara-on-the-Lake. That I came around to that one. It might just be the perfect size small town. The perfect amount of tourism, the perfect amount of everything. And it's by Toronto, and that's good. All of these have pros and cons to them. But I just really enjoyed learning about some of the small towns in Canada I've never ever heard about, ever before. Some of these I actually had heard about, now that I think about it. Never seen before, never learned in depth about. And there's some really, really special places that in small towns that you can live in Canada, which is really, really nice to see. So I enjoyed this quite a bit. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment, perhaps with your opinion on what was the best small town in this list, or the worst, or small towns in Canada that were not on this list that you think should be, perhaps. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada and Canadian culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.